Say it again.
So what are you doing on January 6th?
It's a great question.
Is it?
Don't know if I want to give you the truth or the fake answer.
This is the Boat Row Bullies podcast, by the way. I am interrogating Grassy for no other reason than he said he can't record on January 6th. So now I'm trying to figure out why. So, again, I'm going to ask Grassy, what's going on January 6th that's so important to you that you can't record?
Would you like the real answer or would you like a fake answer?
I want the real
fake answer.
Well,
give me the fake answer.
all right, what's the fake answer?
I'm going on a date.
That's a sad fake answer.
I know. That's why.
What's the real
It's
answer?
got a little uncomfortable in here.
I'm watching a wrestling thing.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So Nolan,
Yeah, I know.
buddy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, I'm Izzy. This is Connor.
I'm embarrassed.
I'm depressed.
Yeah. And depressed as Grassy. This is the Boat Row Bullies podcast.
Oh boy, what a way to start this one.
Yeah, I feel bad.
That's not making it in. This is not making it into that. I am editing that out so quick.
I am going to keep this.
I'm
This
gonna
has
find
to
a
stay.
You're
No.
gonna find a way to keep it in here somehow.
I mean, man. We can't redo it now. It's too late.
We're too far in.
If you stop the podcast right now, I'm just going to refuse to do it, and you're just going to waste your time out here.
We're just gonna end up watching Monday Night Football and the end of the Sixers game till 11 o'clock.
The whole game.
the whole
both
game.
Monday night games.
Both of them.
Is there two games
Both of 'em?
tonight?
There is two.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Falcons and
Raiders.
No.
Ravens,
Yes.
Buccaneers, Raiders. I don't know who the fuck's playing tonight.
Well, I know I have a bunch of guys going in fantasy, which the games tonight are not very good. So that kind of said something about my fantasy teams.
Well, Drake London has a touchdown, and Brock Bowers has one catch.
Ooh.
Kyle Pitts have anything.
Drake London has a touchdown is not bueno for me.
I would say it's bueno for me, but it's not because I have a bye. My team is going to put up like 230 points, by the way, and I'm going to be on bye. So you know what that means, right? Next week, I'm putting up like 60.
Oh, yeah.
Like, look at this. Jalen Hurts, 36. Jameer Gibbs, 28. Devon Achane, 15. AJ, 26. Malik Neighbors, 24. Charbonnet put up 13. Fred Warner put up 12. Sam Hubbard caught a touchdown. Like,
I'm going to be really mad if like my work league like ends up losing because I literally am coming off like back-to-back 200-point games and
Yep.
like I'm doing solid this week, but like this guy literally like I literally just beat him by like 100 last week.
don't you love when that happens?
I absolutely love and hate fantasy football all in one.
It's such a good time.
It's really something.
It's something is a way to put it. Anyway,
Actual
sports, not fantasy sports.
yes. It has been
A
a
week,
week since we've last seen you guys.
or
And
since you've seen us.
well, yeah, I guess we don't actually physically see you guys.
We could
We could find a way.
find a way.
We'll do what's it called?
A signing?
Oh, I was gonna say Omegle. Is that what it's called?
That's not a thing anymore.
That's
It's
not,
not?
a thing.
They got rid of Omegle.
Really?
I mean, it's
Yeah,
probably
it-
for the
Probably
best.
for the best.
That's
It's probably for the
It's
best.
probably a good thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. Anyhow, it's been a week. Things are a little bit better in Eagles world.
Yes.
So I think that's where we'll start tonight. I felt the need to wear the Hurts jersey tonight because Jalen essentially went out yesterday.
My AJ's hanging up.
Yeah. Hurts essentially like went out and was like, "Yeah, I'm him."
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like all the talk about the passing game. So just to recap you from last week, we talked about Brandon Graham essentially like airing out some dirty laundry and be like, yeah, Jalen and AJ, like they're not that close anymore or whatever. And then he like literally the entire rest of the week was like, I misspoke. I'm sorry. Like I didn't mean any of that. Like I didn't know. Like so again, it's like all right. Like I don't understand like why you're airing out dirty laundry to begin with if you don't even know the full story, especially when you're the one on the team.
Yep.
But like all week, Jalen and AJ, they were like, "Yeah, we're cool. Like we're good. Like don't worry about us." And then, obviously, none of that matters until you get to the actual game itself.
Correct.
So you get to the game, and Jalen was just on point the entire game, like accuracy wise.
The first, what?
I think he was like 12 for like 13.
Yeah,
at
the
one
first
point.
3 plays were all passing plays.
Yeah.
I have his numbers pulled up on the game. So Jalen was 25 of 32 for 290, 2 passing touchdowns, and a passer rating of 125. He had 15 rushing attempts, which I didn't realize it was that high. 45 yards and a touchdown. So he was responsible for 3 total touchdowns. Had a fumble.
He did, but I think that's more credit. I don't even know if that's like a Jalen Hurts thing or more so of like a credit to TJ Watt.
TJ Watt is just
I mean, that was literally
crazy.
just like
it was a perfect punch.
Yeah.
And they even said on the broadcast, leads the league in forced fumbles.
Yeah.
So I mean, credit where credit is due. TJ Watt is a fantastic
animal.
player.
Which
he'll probably win Defensive Player of the Year if I had to guess.
probably.
But yeah, it was nice to see the Eagles respond to all this drama by being like, yeah, but watch how we play football.
But like essentially, like we're still the Philadelphia Eagles, and we're still like one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, and oof, boy, did they look good.
Yeah.
Things started off hot, obviously. First drive, never scored a touchdown, always kicked the field goal.
Honestly, I'm just even glad we got points to begin with.
Yeah, and then I did get worried because there was 2 consecutive drives with a turnover. One on the Jalen Hurts fumble, which resulted in a punt. And then on that punt, who was back there? Cooper DeJean was back receiving the punt and fumbled at like the 15-yard line. And thankfully...
we only held him to a field goal.
Yeah, thankfully their tight end decided to push Darius Slay, all the way to Camden.
Yeah.
And it resulted in a 15-yard penalty, and we held them to a field goal, and then from there it was only up for the Eagles.
Which, by the way, props to like Quinion Mitchell.
Dude, I was so hyped because
he shows like no emotion whatsoever.
He's such a quiet guy that all of a sudden Darius Slay is in a debate, and you just see Quinion from like out of nowhere just like run up, and I'm pretty sure he like threw a punch.
Yeah.
Like he was
or
threw a push, whatever you want to call it.
Even like Jalen Carter. Like Jalen Carter's such a bully, and I love it.
Dude,
he is
his unnecessary roughness penalty where he just
at the
like
time,
straight up like open palm, just boom. Yeah, oh my gosh. It wasn't even like a football move. It was just like, I have pent up aggression right now. I'm just gonna smack the side of your helmet.
Yeah.
And that in itself ended up leading to some speculated drama because Nick Sirianni tried to go over and talk with him. D-line coach was like, hey, now's not the time. I don't remember.
Something. He's just a massive human being.
He was like, now's not the time. You don't need to talk to him now. Essentially, I think I saw like a lip reader.
He was saying like, I'm good. Or he's like, I got him.
Yeah,
or,
like, hey,
I'm
he's good. Yeah. And again, I think it's one of those things where this is just normal football. Like, hey, the head coach is trying to be like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, again, it's probably better suited to happen after the game,
Well, and I think it's just like the heat of the moment kind of thing on the sideline.
Well, and then so you take it to Monday's film session, or whenever the next film session is, and you just say, Jalen, this cannot happen.
Well, and then like it even like the camera even caught them on the sideline like hugging it out.
No, yeah, like I'm not
they're fine.
Like there's nothing there. It was just one of those heat of the moment, and I mean I know like obviously coming out of college, coming out of Georgia, Jalen's big issue was kind of his, I'm going to use the word immature, how immature he was and how he handled emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
And he just plays really aggressive. I love it. Sometimes it's to a fault. Sometimes he's a little too chippy. I feel like he is always talking trash. I feel like he's going to be one of those guys that like 10 years from now, some offensive lineman's going to retire and they're going to be like, what's like the craziest trash talk you've ever heard? And they're going to be like, Jalen Carter insulted me and like 17 generations of my family because he would not shut up.
Well, the funny thing is like there's playful banter that like Brandon Graham does.
Yeah.
Like Brandon Graham is like an elite trash talker, but it's like the like it's like friendly. Almost.
Yeah, no, I feel like Jalen Carter, like if he's talking to you, it's because like he like legitimately wants to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like whatchamacallit, the in Hustle, he's Anthony Edwards from Hustle.
No, yes,
from the football
absolutely,
version. Yeah.
absolutely. Like he's just a menace.
Yeah,
and it's the best.
Yeah, but dude is just a straight up bully.
Yeah.
I also like Lane Johnson against TJ Watt, really good.
Always.
I mean, you want to talk about a dude that's like he's just an all-time great
Oh, he's gonna go down as one of the best
Not-
tackles of all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say not even all-time great Eagle, like all-time great
Tackle.
offensive lineman
Yeah.
in history of football.
Yeah.
Like he's just one of those guys that just does not give anything up.
No. And what sucks is he's kind of been derailed by injury a little bit in his career.
A little bit.
Nothing dramatic, but like
for the most part, he's like been relatively healty and like obviously when they're
steroids, but
well,
like whatever.
listen, they yes, yeah, I guess twice. But no, I mean he's been like just so good throughout the entire duration of his career. Like he is like top tier offensive lineman
Dude,
of
Jeff,
all time.
I really don't think Jeff Stoutland gets enough credit. Like I know, like from Philly, he does, but like
He gets a lot of credit, but I don't even think it's enough.
no. I mean,
Like you talk
Again,
about like 1 through 5, and even the guys that come, like Fred Johnson would come in,
or like
Tyler
like,
Steen.
Becton bringing him in and being like, yeah, we'll take a chance on this guy, and now he's like a starting guard for you.
Essentially, like you look at between like what Jeff Stoutland has done on the offensive line and what Vic Fangio has done with the entire defense, like that has essentially made like this entire team.
Okay, I'm gonna transition to basketball real quick because I do not like what I just saw from this referee. Watch the bottom of your screen.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Paul George goes in for a reach,
Yeah.
and the ball gets batted away, and he was gonna call a foul if the Sixers got the ball. Just watch the reach coming up. Oh, it's Kelly Oubre. Watch 35 on the bottom of your screen. Okay, just watch.
Yeah, he
was gonna
hesitated.
call.
Yeah.
He was gonna call it if Philly got the ball.
Well,
But
that's-
because the Hornets retained possession, they were like, never mind.
well, they do that all the time, like on makes. Like that's why you'll hear such a late whistle because if
But
it
like
doesn't
that's
go,
that's not how. Again, it's not how it's supposed to be. If there's a foul, you call the foul. So obviously there was a foul, but Charlotte retained possession. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because it then led to a made basket.
yeah.
But like, if like it just doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, back to football. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just something I noticed while watching the game.
Saquon did not have his like usual Saquon game, which is a little
But,
bit
like-
of a, he still was really good.
Yeah,
obviously.
he also got a little dinged up early, and I'm gonna assume it was just a stinger.
It probably
it was cold. He took
Yeah.
a hit in the thigh. Like I'm just assuming it was probably like a nice bruise, and he was like, "Hey," like. But on the flip side, I also think the game plan, like all game, was to be like, "Look what we can do passing the ball."
Yeah.
Like kind of like a, "Hey, we're gonna silence everyone that says we can't do this, that, and the other."
Well, and I think too, like I think Pittsburgh's game plan was mainly, hey, we're not going to let Saquon beat us.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to beat us, it's going to be with the thing that you don't do that well. And the Eagles essentially were like, well, guess what? We do that well.
that just as well.
Yeah.
I was talking to a coworker at work about the Eagles, and we were just talking about how, like, essentially we don't even control our own destiny right now for the number 1 seed.
The Lions do.
The Lions and the Vikings.
Oh, that's true. I guess the Vikings also do.
Um,
Well, because I guess we've lost both of our games to NFC teams. I
Yeah.
know the Lions are 1-1.
Yeah. So strength of schedule, all that fun stuff. But what was interesting in talking to him was like, hey, so like obviously like you don't want to tell these guys like, hey, these are meaningless games. You still want to go in and win football games. You never know
Right.
what might happen. But it's one of those where it's like, hey, do we just try and get right? Like that was my whole argument. It's like, hey, do you try? You say, hey, you know what? This is what Saquon can do. We already see that.
Yeah.
Let's get this passing game sharp.
Yeah.
Let's get it to where it needs to be. So come playoff time, we play a team with a fantastic defense against the run.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, we're just going to pass the ball. And we can do that flawlessly. And it looked, again, Pittsburgh is a really good defense. I know they were out a couple of pieces defensively, but we looked really good passing the ball. Jalen looked, and even, I know Tom was calling the game, but even Tom Brady was saying that, like, hey, Jalen is at his best when he is one read fire.
Yeah.
But
I
they
will
were
say-
just cruising like that.
I will say there were a few times yesterday where the first read wasn't always there, and he did a good job of looking
Going
at that
through his
second.
progressions.
Yeah. Like that one play to Devontae Smith on the 3rd and long there in the 4th quarter.
Yeah.
Devontae was not his first read. He was looking the other side of the
Yeah.
field, and his eyes followed Devontae to the middle of the field. Which, by the way, I don't know if you looked at Devontae's receiving chart, like his reception chart or whatever. he is like all over the place. Like
Yeah.
that is what I wanted to see out of a Kellen Moore offense.
Yep.
Like you look at those charts of like Keenan Allen when he was with the Chargers last
Or
year.
CeeDee Lamb.
Or CeeDee Lamb, and they are all over the
Yeah.
place. That's exactly what I want to see from Devontae. We kind of got a glimpse of it yesterday.
What's crazy to me too is like, I know AJ and Devontae are some of the best receivers in the league, but we're doing this currently without Dallas Goedert, who's just like a whole other option in this offense. Which don't get me wrong,
I love
Grant Calcaterra has
Calcaterra.
been really good. Like, I mean, first play of the game went to Grant, and it was a really nice catch. The ball was a little high, nothing crazy.
They have that that chemistry from being at Oklahoma together.
Yeah, but like it's just like, so again, you just think, oh hey, we're doing this without our starting tight end,
Right.
who is known as, I'm not going to say he's like a top 3 tight end because he's certainly not, but he's definitely like
Top,
I'll give him top 10.
I'll give him top 10.
I mean, can you name Grassy? Can you name me 10 tight ends better than Dallas Goedert?
Okay, there's Kittle,
Kelsey,
Andrews,
Andrews.
Njoku,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Laporta,
Brock.
Brock Bowers, yeah.
I kind of want to give Pat Fryermuth his flowers. I think he's also.
I don't think he's better.
That one.
I don't
What
think
about-
he's
what
better.
about,
I think he's
um,
good.
That one's up for debate.
What about Gesicki?
No.
Not Gesicki?
No, not Gesicki.
John Smith right now.
Well, maybe right now.
I'm trying to think. T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Mm,
Not anymore. I wouldn't say not
he's
anymore.
still pretty good.
Let's see. Who else are we missing?
Zach Ertz.
He's been really good.
He has actually had a really good season. I will give Zach. I don't know if
Now,
Zach
he's not
Ertz,
better than Dallas Goedert.
Zach
but
Ertz has been better than Dallas Goedert per se, but I will give Zach Ertz props.
So regardless to say, it sounds like 7, 8,
7, 8, 9,
somewhere in that
maybe.
range. Kyle Pitts.
No.
I know. I just wanted to get a reaction out of Grassy.
He sucks for fantasy.
I know. Thanks for taking him off my team.
Ah, you tricked me.
I did trick you. It worked. Actually, I kind of sold you on the hope that if they use him right, but they haven't figured out how to use him right.
You know what's funny
Damn,
is
it's
there
like when-
was a time in fantasy I would have.
It's like I'm really good at trading in our dynasty league.
There was a time I would have traded my.
I just traded to just reiterate how good I am at trading. I traded a first in Cedric Tillman for Terry McLaurin, and I sold Connor
That's
on
not
the
a bad trade.
I sold Connor on the idea that Cedric Tillman was him.
That's not a
Cedric
bad
Tillman
trade.
is him.
You also gave me Troy Franklin.
That's true. I also still do very much like Cedric Tillman.
I do too. I mean, like weirdly enough, Jerry Jeudy is like one of the only 1,000-yard receivers in the one of 5.
Yeah. He
And
was
you
also on my
did
team for a
also
while.
trade him to me.
Yeah, he
So-
was on my team for a while.
Yeah, so that one's actually kind of worked out for
Well, it's
me.
gotten better. So
it has gotten. It got off to a very slow start, and then surprisingly, the quarterback changes, and now he's fantastic. Which the exact same thing happened last year. That's why they just get an actual quarterback.
They just need to find a way to move on from Deshaun.
Literally, Jerry Jeudy and both David Njoku have been amazing ever since Jameis became quarterback.
And Cedric Tillman.
And Cedric Tillman. All of them have become amazing. They have such a great offense when it's not Deshaun Watson.
No, they just need to. I think they'll find a way. And I think what's going to suck is they're just going to have to eat 99% of that salary, and just say, okay, well, if we're going to be competitive, it's going to be because we're doing it with a decent quarterback. And I still think they would be smart to retain Jameis for another year or two.
Oh, I absolutely believe they would be.
Unless they're one of the teams that somehow, some way, that's a nasty step back.
That's what I'm saying, though.
We
Again,
traveled.
I don't love the step back to.
Yeah, but he's really good at it.
He is, but make it a 3 at the very least.
But back to football. The Browns might be a team because no one knows what Minnesota's going to do with Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, which kind of along that line. I don't know. Baker too.
He's staying.
Well, I know Baker's staying in Tampa, but I love what that has become for Baker.
Oh, Baker's been fantastic.
I really do love Baker Mayfield, and I love what that has kind of worked out.
I love how fun he is.
He is, and he is such I want to say he's like a guy's guy. He's a dude. He's a bro.
Like half of me wishes Jalen Hurts was like that. Hey, just a guy that's super playful, energetic, out there, kind of lets his personality shine through.
Yeah, but when you have guys cool as Jalen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but then on the flip side, you have Jalen Hurts who sits down after his after the game on Sunday, and he's like, "So this is what y'all wanted."
Not to mention,
like-
backwards hat,
yeah.
the biggest iced out chain
Yeah.
you could possibly wear.
But like, imagine
Cooler
all
than
this.
the other side of the pillow.
Imagine all this media talk about how the Eagles are falling apart again, this, that, and the other. Jalen can't throw the ball. The Eagles wide receivers are mad at him, yada, yada, yada. Dude goes down and he had his best half ever in the first half in terms of completion percentage.
Yeah.
And he sits down and literally, without being prompted, without being asked, again, cool as ice. So this is what y'all wanted?
Yeah,
like ugh, yes, I'll take that. Like, that is like...
But like the funny thing about Jalen too and all that is like he made so many big throws down the stretch. Like, and we haven't even mentioned the fact that the Steelers punted to the Eagles inside the 5 with like...
Are we talking about the last drive of the game?
Yes, with
Yeah.
10 plus minutes.
Yeah, the 10-minute drive.
And the Pittsburgh didn't even see the ball back.
Pittsburgh touched the ball in the second half two times.
And one of them was a fumble.
Yeah, and then it was game over.
Yeah, basically. Like, they also had how many yards in, like, at one point in the first, like, quarter and a half, it had, like, 11 yards.
Dude,
Are
they calling it on the floor?
Yep. No, they.
Nope.
No, they called on them. All right, let's go.
Attaboy PG.
Oh.
But, like, it is just so impressive to me. Like, again, that drive is bonkers. You know what?
You know how hard that is to do?
Do you know what I found? What my first thought was? Like, man, like, imagine this in the Super Bowl and how pissed everyone would be.
Oh, my gosh, it'd be fantastic.
Like
but
imagine the Eagles
that's
are up.
why they got
I know.
Saquon. That's
I'm
exactly why
I'm
they
not
got
even
Saquon.
saying the Eagles. Imagine anyone,
Yeah.
right? Gets to the Super Bowl, they go up 10 points in the fourth quarter, get the ball back 2 minutes into the quarter, and the other team's like, all right, we just got to get a stop, and this, that, and the other. They don't even get an opportunity. They go, again, they basically, 22 plays is what it was?
Yeah, it was like 22
just,
plays,
like
80-some yards.
Chew the clock, like literally the definition of chewing the clock, and the game's over. And you like legitimately don't even have a chance.
It was essentially like they were running, like in Madden, you know how you can like simulate the clock or whatever.
You turn on chew clock.
Yeah, like that's exactly what it was. Like they were just eating clock, like to a ridiculous amount.
It was.
But like that's why you go out and you get Saquon Barkley, because essentially you go out and get a guy that can go out and rush for 5-6 yards a carry. Not to mention your quarterback can also pull at any point and take off for 5 to 6 yards a carry.
Also, I
he
want to
can also pull and throw a slant to AJ Brown.
We're talking about how big Saquon is down the stretch. Can we talk about how great Kenny Gainwell was in that little span of absence from Saquon? So the spin was fantastic.
He had like 123 purpose yards.
Yeah. That spin was fantastic. Can we talk about red zone?
Yeah.
How he catches the ball like in the flat, and it's like third and whatever. He needs like 4 yards.
Yeah.
And splits 2 defenders perfectly.
Yeah.
And just trugs his way along. Dude,
I love Kenny.
I love Kenny. He currently now is giving off the sorry, my son is awake. He's giving off Boston Scott energy.
Like Boston Scott, Corey Clement kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, we have our running back. Ooh, that looked clean to me.
We have our Saquon is essentially a combination of LeGarrette Blount and Jay Ajayi all in one.
Yeah.
With also like a hint of Corey Clement.
Yeah.
Whereas like Kenny Gainwell is just kind of like that bruiser, like Corey Clement. Like, hey, I can catch the ball in the backfield really well. So you got,
and then you still got Will Shipley behind him, who
I know.
I know,
he's just an angry runner.
Yeah, and isn't he a pretty solid receiving back too?
He is. Yeah, that's actually one of the
like,
things he did the best at Clemson.
Yeah, so like all of a sudden, and I'm not saying it'll happen soon, but like at some point, I'm gonna assume Kenny's gonna go,
right?
Because they're gonna be like, hey, we're not gonna pay you. You can probably get more elsewhere. God forbid you end up on the Raiders, because they definitely need a running back. Okay, well, here comes Will Shipley on, an occasional third down, and it's like, oh, look, he can catch the ball too.
Yeah.
Like, this team feels so complete right now.
Yeah.
And it's really exciting, especially because one of the teams that I was worried about just in terms of depth was the Lions in the NFC.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they just lost David Montgomery for the season.
Yeah.
Bids well for my fantasy. Won't lie.
Was it for the season?
I mean, indefinitely is what they said.
Towards MCL?
Yeah, MCL sprain or something.
I saw Tor.
It's definitely for a while.
They said it's season end. Campbell said it's season end.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure Dan Campbell said it was for the season.
I'll confirm.
So, attaboy, PG.
Where you at, Schefter?
Where you at, Schefter?
Anyway, also,
Have
wasn't
you-
it just a message in our guys chat?
Has anybody here been watching? What is it? The Hard Knocks in season with
I
the
have
AFC
not.
North.
Out for the season.
Out is out. Okay.
Yeah. So
What
ahead.
I want to.
hold on. Would you ask us if we're watching what? I'm sorry.
The Hard Knocks in season with the AFC North.
No, they
So-
they just had the Steelers on though, didn't they?
Yeah, it's AFC, the entire AFC North.
Okay. Yeah.
So, they're highlighting. I don't know. Was there? I don't even know if there was an AFC division or AFC North divisional game this week, but they
This coming week?
no, this past one, like this most
I
previous
was gonna
one.
say this week. I know we
Yeah.
have Ravens Steelers.
It was this week.
No, this
Oh,
coming
this coming.
week.
Okay, so I'm very curious to see that 10-minute drive from Pittsburgh's point of view because
I'd be so pissed.
they'll go from game to game and they're going to cover this week's previous game.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I really want to see the reaction to the 10-minute drive that they get and how pissed off Mike Tomlin is.
But again, as a coach, I think it's one of those things where it's like,
You just gotta have to tip
gotta
your cap
respect-
a
yeah,
little
it's
bit.
like,
Do
hey,
you guys-
we can't do anything.
Did you guys see in the first quarter?
I mean, at that point, what? It was also we won what, 13-27,
Yeah.
so it was
Yeah.
a 2-score game.
yeah.
Did you see when Tomlin was talking to the ref in the first quarter, and the ref is explaining himself, and all you see Tomlin mouth the words, "All right, get the fuck out of my face."
Yeah, and he waved his hand. Yeah, that was on the.
That was during the scrum, I think.
Yes, yeah, when they were
Yeah.
telling him
Yep.
like, "Hey, no fouls on the Eagles." And
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, get
He's
the
like,
fuck
he's
out
all
of
right,
here.
get the fuck out of my face.
Which I am very surprised there was no call on the Eagles because like there were guys definitely
Definitely
in there
throwing
throwing
punches.
punches.
Well, especially like you look at like it looked like it was diffused,
Yeah, and then
like all of a sudden you see like Jalen Carter and Quinnion Mitchell come
yeah,
out of like
yeah.
nowhere.
I have an AirPod in my ear, and we're standing in line, and all I hear is, I just hear a bunch of flags, so I look down at my phone, and I see like the whole scrum, and I go, oh, well, there's two penalties, and I heard two penalties, and I go, okay, he goes, unnecessary roughness,
Defense.
defense,
declined
decline,
or offense, offense.
offense, unnecessary roughness, offense. Oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to bring this up because I want your guys' opinion on it. So again, back to work. I have a coworker who's a diehard Steelers fan. He's older than I am, has watched all the Super Bowls, all the whole 9 yards. And so I was giving him shit all week. He'd walk by and I'm like, "Hey, Chad, go Birds." He'd say whatever to me. I want to know why you guys don't think the Steelers-Eagles rivalry, why it's not as big as I think it should be.
That's a good question.
Because to me, I'm like, dude, like
I feel very like meh with the Steelers.
I do too. But here's
but
my
I feel
point.
like on the flip side, I feel like the
I know-
Steelers are like really annoyed by us.
I know so many Steelers fans.
Yeah.
Again, we live in PA.
Yeah.
So it is like for me, it is so easy. Again, I work in a farmer's market. I see thousands of people in a week, and of the football jerseys, it goes Eagles, Steelers, and then a lot of Niner fans actually. I know,
Not this year.
including my boss. But so I'm like, this would be such a fun rivalry because I interact with these people daily.
Right.
Like not on Twitter, not on social
Like,
media, but like in
your
person.
daily-
I
yeah.
see people where I can be like, I have conversations with them and this, that, and the other. I drive down the street, I see people with flags or whatever. And I'm like, man, I feel like this football game or even baseball game or whatever should hold more gravity because it's like, again, it's a battle for PA.
Right.
And it just doesn't. Every year it's like, oh yeah, the Eagles Steelers, or every 4 years or whatever. Oh yeah, Eagles Steelers play each other, Phillies Pirates play each other, whatever. I know we get the poop series out of that, but like,
I do love the poop series.
but it's just like I just wish there was a little more intensity behind it. And again, I think you saw that with some of the players last night. Like there was some like
There's a little bit
there was
of
it felt like it almost felt like a divisional rivalry when you play the Giants or the Cowboys
Yeah.
because there's a little more chippiness to
So
it.
let me ask you this though: why would you make that same claim for both New York teams, or like both both
Yeah.
Texas teams?
Well, the New York one's different. Like that is literally like, hey, you take a subway to the next game. It's the same reason why we talked when the Eagles played when the Phillies played the Orioles.
yeah.
And I'm like, hey, we got to figure out like a name for this
Like-
series
like
because
the
it's
Orioles-
so
the
close.
Orioles Phillies weirdly has like juice behind it.
And so my whole theory is that it's just been because when the Eagles have been good, the Steelers have been bad. When the Steelers have been good, or whatever, vice versa.
There's only one time where we were actually somewhat close to facing each other in the Super Bowl, and that was 2008.
Yeah.
Because that was when we lost to the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game, and the Steelers won the AFC Championship game. So
the thing I look at that though is you talk about like why or like it should be a bigger rivalry. I agree because of geographical location,
Yes.
but for some reason because the rivalry that I go to off of geographical location is Browns-Bengals. Because same state, they're division rivals, whatnot, and all that happens. But the Eagles aren't division rivals with. They're not division rivals with the Steelers.
I know.
So it's
yes,
it sucks because I agree. It should be something major.
I think though to counter that is why does Phillies Orioles have the juice, but Eagles Steelers doesn't have the juice?
And again, I think it's just because when one team has been good, the other has been bad.
Well,
so there's never been
And I think that's why the Orioles-Phillies kind of had the juice this year, because both the Phillies and Orioles were really good.
Especially at the time they played.
Right.
Well, let me ask you an extremely vague question. What would you classify as a rivalry?
Just teams that hate each other.
See, that's the thing, though.
Not even that. Let me add to that because, again, like I said, it seemed like there was a little extra juice last night. I know you guys were a little tied up and couldn't watch it, but again, you have Jalen Carter throwing at helmets. You have the whole scrum happening, but and again, it doesn't even have to be a player rivalry. I'm even saying as a fan, because again, this to me, the Eagles hate the Cowboys. It's one of the biggest rivalries in football. How many Cowboy fans do you run into on a daily basis?
Maybe one or two.
Exactly.
A decent amount.
Small handful,
Yeah.
right? How many Steeler fans do you run into? A lot more.
Pretty decent amount.
A lot more. Again, if I pick out 10 football fans in the state of Pennsylvania,
I think it's
going to be it's probably a 6-4 split, depending on what side of the state you live on.
I think it has something to do with it just isn't
Is it just because it happens every 4 years? It's not frequent enough?
It's not frequent enough. I think that's kind of where my mindset is. It's not frequent enough for us to kind of get all worked up over.
Okay, so let's
we're going to put that energy
let's
into
create an NFL rivalry week, or we'll call it we'll call it a rivalry week. So every in-state team plays each other. Now, I don't know what that means for some of these teams. How many teams does Florida has?
There's 4.
3 teams?
Jaguars,
Tampa,
Buccaneers,
Tampa, Jacksonville,
Dolphins.
Tampa. We all said different names, and I lost count.
3 teams. So I don't know what you do there. Maybe then you play the northernmost team plays whatever. But I just feel like there should be more juice in this game because again, you brought up the New York teams in baseball. Well, it's a Subway Series. It literally has a name. I also understand, didn't they play in the World Series against each other once?
Yes, they did.
Okay, so I understand that probably adds to it. That's probably the origin story. So, maybe that's all we're waiting for. Maybe we're just waiting for the year the Eagles and the Steelers play in the Super Bowl, and then from there it's this undermined hatred of, this team beat us one year.
I do think it has something to do with the fact that, when we do face each other, there's not a whole lot really going for each side.
Yeah,
I feel like this is the first time in a while that both teams were really good.
Yeah.
But just for whatever reason,
the Sixers won.
I know
they did.
Shout out PG. Shout out Tyrese.
Yeah, really. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't have a good answer for you. It is a good question because it's something that I've even kind of thought about where it's I don't hate the Steelers, but I feel like I probably could.
Should.
Yeah. And again, so I
have genuine disdain. I hate the Penguins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, agreed.
I kind of like the Pirates.
Exactly. Yeah. I kind of like the Pirates.
I kind of like the Pirates, and I don't hate.
I also
the Steelers.
didn't realize Tyrese had 40.
I think a lot of it was there at the free throw line at the end of the game.
Don't care.
I don't hate the Steelers. That's probably the best way.
I just
to say
wish.
That. I think it's because of just how the divisions
Yeah,
are laid out.
I just wish, I just wish there was a little more to it. Because for me, I was super excited because I was I get to go to work this week and shit talk all the Pittsburgh fans
Yeah.
I have that work in the market.
Yeah.
I'm like, and that's so exciting for me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna love this.
Yeah.
It's like, my boss is a Niners fan.
Yeah.
So like, anytime the Niners and Eagles have played in the playoffs or anything, like, here we go. So the other year when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, like, I literally told him, I was like, I shit talk for a little bit, and then I was like, I can't talk to you the rest of the week because I am so. Now, to be fair, that's the same game where like all of a sudden their like fifth string quarterback was playing for the Niners.
That's our fault. Learn to block for your quarterback.
Yeah, but like again, I just wish like. I think mostly I just want a fun name for it, like a fun rivalry name.
Yeah,
Because
well, every single time the Eagles and Steelers play each other, it always comes back to the Steagles when they combine the teams. So that's kind of like what it almost seems to be known as. It's like, hey, remember that time the Eagles and Steelers were the same
but
team?
I want it to be like the Battle of PA, like
The Battle of the Keystone State is normally like.
yeah, like I
kinda what
want
they go off of it.
something of that line so that it adds a little bit more oomph to it.
Yeah, I
Like
do get what you're saying.
I played basketball in high school. I went to Pequay Valley. We were the Braves. Right down the road from us was Octorara, who was also the Braves. So the football games, I don't think we did it for basketball. I don't remember. They were a lot better than us at basketball. They did the Brave Bowl. Like that's what it was called. It was a trophy that was passed back and forth for whoever won that year.
Yeah.
The Brave Bowl. And I'm like, I want something like, again, obviously there's no trophy or anything, but like I want the idea of like I want the idea of a trophy every year.
It feels like it's like friendly banter.
I know. I don't want it to be friendly
between
though.
the Eagles
like,
and Steelers, and that's what I'm saying. And I think that's part of the reason why it doesn't feel like it has the juice. Flyers and Penguins have the juice.
Yeah, no, that's
because there's a genuine disdain for each
Yeah.
other.
You can also punch each other in the face in hockey.
Yes,
so
you can. But it's also because like
let's get Jalen Carter on some skates.
But and here
That's
I'll
one scary thing.
I will
That's
I will
a
make
big dude.
That is one scary ice.
I
skater.
will make this argument. Like as a Philadelphia fan, when you hear the name Sidney Crosby,
Yeah, it makes me sick.
it's nails on a chalkboard. Is there any name on the Pirates that is like nails on a chalkboard, or even a name on the Steelers?
Paul Skeens.
But I like Paul Skeens.
I don't like Paul Skeens.
Andrew McCutcheon the second time around.
I love
I know, I'm
Kutch. That's the thing. It's
I'm
like
trying to think.
that's why I kind of like the Pirates, because it's like Paul Skeens is a
Okay,
really cool
but, like,
pitcher.
Russell
like-
Wilson.
Russell Wilson is a little, but Russell Wilson isn't Steelers nails on a chalkboard.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
He's-
I'm not
Cordell
gonna-
Patterson.
I'm not gonna lie to
he's-
you.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
I respect Mike Tomlin. I don't really like Mike Tomlin.
I
I like
do
Mike
like Mike
Tomlin.
Tomlin.
I do like
I,
Mike
res- I
Tomlin.
respect.
There-
I respect Mike
there-
Tomlin, but I just
I think the closest I got to like not liking any of their players was like peak Antonio Brown, when like he started to kind of go crazy, but like wasn't actually crazy.
The team was like kind of fun to watch.
Well, yeah.
Like Ben Roethlisberger was kind of.
Oh my gosh, is that Limp Bizkit? No,
I don't know who that is.
that might be Limp Bizkit.
But like Ben Roethlisberger was just
To
kind
Google.
of like I didn't have like a hate towards Ben Roethlisberger. Like if anything, Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, like that was.
Juju Smith-Schuster. I
did not like Juju.
no.
I didn't really like Juju either.
And I'm not
I still
saying
don't
that. I'm
really
not
like
saying that
Juju.
because of
But
the
like
Chiefs.
that was
but
that
I'm
was
just-
at least like a fun offense to watch.
the Killer Bees.
Like I don't, and like same thing with the Pirates. Like the Pirates when they were at their best, when there was like Neil Walker and Kutch was MVP, and like that was a fun team to watch. I don't.
Well, the fact that I also previously called it the poop series, and we were both like, haha, yeah, it's funny. Like that just goes to show that like there's like nothing there.
Pittsburgh just like right now. Now, obviously, I know Pittsburgh like has like a really good history. Like the Pirates just kind of feel like a little brother right now,
They do.
and like
Cole, you guys have some talent.
like the last like 20 years, they've kind of felt like that.
Yeah.
With the exception of like a good stretch from them, like right as the Phillies were starting to fade there in the late or the early 2010s. But then immediately Pittsburgh fell off again.
Yeah.
So it was like yeah, like Kutch was MVP, but then all of a sudden like Kutch starts getting injured a little bit more, and then it's like, then you just stop winning games all of a sudden, and then you have to rebuild.
Yep.
So I don't know. Like the Pirates just kind of give like a little brother kind of vibe that like doesn't really make it as fun. I think if the Pirates were good again, then it was like okay, like
Yeah.
it kind of adds to the juice a little bit.
Does I-95 take you out west?
To Pittsburgh?
I think so.
Does it? I only know I-95 to New York.
I
I
think
have
it
no
would take
fucking
you,
clue.
wouldn't you? It would make sense in my head.
I'm-
Or is it 76?
I think it's 76. I don't think 95 takes
3,
you.
4, 5, 6.
I'm not. I would need to get my dad here because
Yeah, seriously.
He'd
No,
be able to tell us.
actually, he wouldn't know that.
My-
No,
doesn't-
he would.
My
He
dad
would.
would.
What, going to...
He would be able to tell you how to get there.
There we go.
To
Hold on, I
Pittsburgh?
got this.
Yes.
I don't
I
think
got
so.
this.
No, he would. We've been to Pittsburgh.
I got this.
Oh, you've been to Pittsburgh. I haven't.
Me and Dad.
I got this.
Are you calling your
I'm
dad?
calling my dad. He
I
might
actu-
be asleep.
9:45.
I didn't realize it was that late. Hey, quick question. Real quick. We're recording an episode of the podcast, so don't say anything too profound.
It has an explicit rating. I think he's fine.
It does, but you don't know my dad. What's the turnpike that takes you from Philly to Pittsburgh?
70?
Is it 70?
I mean, the PA turnpike?
Yeah, is that what it is? 70?
Yeah, I'm almost sure. I-70.
Okay.
I mean, it takes you... Actually, I-70 will take you out... Like, you get off there... Hold on, let me see something once. Because it might be... I don't want you to mess it up on the...
Well, you sound like a fucking idiot right
76.
now. so-
76. What's that?
I said you sound like a fucking idiot right now, so I had a lot of faith in you knowing this.
Well, yeah, it's 76 is the PA turnpike.
Okay. All right.
We take 70 for work, sorry.
Okay, so 76
Wait.
is the PA turnpike.
You see, Max,
Yes.
You see Max's 40-point game, Isaiah?
I did, yeah. All right.
I'm not on the show, right?
You are now. All right, I gotta go.
Whoa!
All right, love you.
Bye, Mr. Glick.
Anyway, that was my dad. I guess he was the second guest on the podcast.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I would call my dad, but he's 100% asleep.
Let's call him anyway.
Do not call him. Nolan.
Call him.
Do not call
Grassy.
9:40. No, yeah, no, he's out.
him. No, he's 100%.
he's out,
He
he's
will,
out.
and he will
So
not be
76.
happy.
So let's start calling the Pirates Philly series
The 76.
the 76 series.
That actually kind of works.
It does.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me think of Sixers, but that's all
A
right.
little bit, yeah.
The 76 series. It's
We're
had a lot
they're
of
the only
S's.
basketball team in the state. So
A lot of S's. The 76 series.
I'm here for it.
Or do we go with the series of 76?
You had one job, and that was to not drink poorly.
Everybody keep talking.
the se-
You know what? I kind of don't want to. I
this,
kinda
the
just-
76 series or the series of 76?
It wasn't even the Arnold Palmer.
Dude's choking on his tongue.
It was. I think I just swallowed weird. It was like after the Arnold Palmer.
Gross.
Dude just swallowed Arnold.
Woo! All right. Now this guy's going.
That's because I was laughing.
That hurt a little.
Anyway, let's transition to baseball now that we're talking about the 76 series. Grassy just gave me a look because he's upset that the Phillies have done
Nolan-
nothing.
Nolan
They
has
have done
Grassy.
Jack shit.
He
It's
did
killing
want to
me.
go off a little bit on this, so I'm
It's-
just going to
Yeah.
give him room.
Here's the floor.
Here's the floor. Take
It's
it.
Actually,
so
I got you.
annoying. See,
Get
here's the
train.
thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm not trying to sound. No, you know what? I'll move closer to this. I'm not trying to sound like a fucking idiot when it comes to these kind of things because I'm not that stupid baseball fan. But it's the fact that how vague they are in everything that they need to do. Literally. Every year, it's the same two things that they need. They need back-end starting pitching, and they need bullpen help. Every year. And they don't do it. It's killing me. They sign boomer bust guys as their relievers, and they don't do anything. I'm telling you right now, the highlight of free agency should not be Jordan Romano. It shouldn't be. They have so many other things that they could be filling. Nobody wants Alec Boehm. Grass.
Keep going.
Nobody wants Alec Boehm. It's killing me. People don't even want Nick Castellanos. They need help. There are so many better options out there. And they won't do it. It's such a pain in the ass. Dave Dombrowski is I respect Dave Dombrowski, and I'm not saying that I don't respect him. I love Dave Dombrowski. I understand that he has had major success in previous years. I get that. But, like, why is it that every single year you go, well, I'm not going to give away our plans, and then your plans are Whit Merrifield. Your plans are Jordan Romano. You straight up did not even try it. You sent Alec. You're sending these ridiculous trades that include Alec Boehm. You think Alec Boehm is a lot more up there than what you think he is. Nobody wants him. You call Oakland or you call the A's and you go, hey, you want Alec Boehm? And they're like, yeah, what are you thinking? And they go, Mason Miller. And they hang up the phone. They hung up the phone on you. The Athletics hung up the phone on you because you asked for Alec Boehm for Mason Miller. It's ridiculous.
I have a point. I would just like to make a quick point, real quick on that point that you just made. I'm gonna put myself back in camera focus here. So apparently, like a rival executive, those like anonymous quotes that they always throw out. Apparently, a rival executive talking about Dave Dombrowski was like, "This is what he does," where he just kind of like
throws garbage offers
and
until
then,
until someone's
somebody
finally
just
like,
is
okay,
"All right,
fine."
fine, whatever. Like that's apparently what he does.
Nobody wants Alec Boehm for the price that they're asking.
Grass.
It's so annoying. You said, hey, we'll take Kyle Tucker off your hands, and we'll give you a steal. We'll give you Nick Castellanos, and we'll give you Alec Boehm. And the Astros laughed in your face and said, nah, Boehm is not our defensive guy. We don't want that. Like, come on. You got to do something. You cannot. I understand that they won 92 games last year. I understand that they won the National League East.
It was 95.
But if the National League East division title is your ultimate prize, what the hell are you doing? I mean, just do something. Jordan Romano cannot be your only get of the offseason. Your opponents, your division rivals are getting better while you're staying the same. You're getting undisciplined talent right now, and it's ridiculous.
It just feels very run it back-y vibe.
They shouldn't run it back.
I understand they shouldn't run it back.
It's Tennessee that Ohio State plays.
Okay. Honestly, Indiana Notre Dame will be
Also,
pretty good,
in
too.
other news, scrolling Spaceman app.
Mhm.
This is funny. Cody Bellinger just got traded to the Phillies.
No, he did not.
So?
No, I'm fucking with you. I just wanted to get you worked up.
I would take it.
I
would take it.
I actually really would like
I would love Cody
I would
Bellinger on
too.
the Phillies, but that guy's gonna go to the Yankees.
Anyway, that was our latest segment of the podcast called Grassy Knows All.
Grassy rant.
And I'm kind of here for it. I had a
actually
lot
really
of
liked it.
fun not doing anything for 30 seconds.
The hardest part of that was just getting up and not putting my junk in front of the camera.
Oh, I put mine in front of the camera.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not trying to sound like an idiot because I know ball, but like
Certified ball knower.
I'm a
Grassy.
certified ball knower, but I
Hey,
hate.
I don't know if it's.
Whoa.
I don't know if you can self.
Is that why you're busy January 6th?
Yeah.
See, now you can't take it out because they made a reference to it.
Okay.
Ha ha ha. He's so worked up he does not care.
Want the Phillies to make moves. They've been linked to so many people, and they've missed out on all of them.
Yep.
They've been linked to everybody. People are like, hey, I wouldn't mind going to the Phillies. Nolan Arenado says, hey, I wouldn't mind going to the Phillies. Now, I don't know if I would want Nolan Arenado on the Phillies.
I don't
but
want Arenado.
it's
I'm okay with that
It's a
one.
name. It's whatever. It's another guy that they're not going to
Yeah,
get.
but, you
hey,
know-
Alex Bregman, you want to come play for the Phillies? Yeah, maybe.
To be fair, you can't just put a bunch of names together.
But
and
they've been
expect-
they're linked to these guys though. They're linked
But
to everybody.
that's the thing. Like, you do need to be careful a little bit. Like, you can't just throw names together. Like, there's got to be some like.
I would love to have
continuity
Alex.
here.
I would love to have Alex Bregman
Let's
on
back
the
up.
Phillies.
Let's back up. So,
I'm also going to switch spots because I don't like.
yeah,
not being in the
I
middle.
felt very uncomfortable.
Sorry, I got too worked up.
It's okay. I could smell the sweat dripping off of you.
You can go back to smelling the Arnold Palmer dripping off of me.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, so let's back it up a little bit. So the two names I'm assuming you're talking about the Phillies missing out on, Juan Soto and
I think he's talking about
Kyle
Tucker.
Tucker.
And are you
Devin
talking
Williams?
No, I'm just talking just in general. I didn't say. Did I say two names?
No, but I'm just assuming.
No, Juan Soto. They were never even in on one. So they kept saying that they were going to talk to him, and they never did. So
Okay, so
Kyle
you're just
Tucker-
upset that
Mason Miller was the other guy.
oh well he still hasn't nothing's happened yet, right?
No, but they're throwing out. I have a feeling they're not going to go back to it if that's the trades that they're making.
Are the Athletics actually looking to like trade Mason Miller? Like,
No.
I think it's one of those things where it's like we're
Start-
happy.
start.
Only
We're
at the right
yeah,
deal.
we're happy keeping him. It's the same thing I say in our fantasy football league. Hey, like I'm a diehard Eagles fan and I have Jalen and AJ, but like no
Traded
one
Kyler Murray for
no
Jalen
one
Hurts.
is truly untouchable.
Right.
I firmly believe that in any single league. Like Shohei Ohtani right now, like again, it's just coming off an MVP season, World Series. I still think there is a trade package that someone would do and be absolutely stupid to do. But there's a trade package out there where it's like, hey, we'll give you literally our entire starting 9 plus our 4 best prospects if you give us Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers would be like, well, okay, like that sounds nice to me. But yeah, so again, just to recap a little bit, the Phillies have done nothing.
We've
They signed
Jordan Romano,
one guy.
who is like not really
He's
a
gonna be-
proven
he's gonna be
guy.
like
It's a boomer bust.
Yeah, he's gonna be like a back your bullpen
it's
guy.
it's a low risk, high reward kind of signing, and I don't like building a team off of those
No.
because
Again,
Oh,
and
by the way-
we even talked good.
By the way, Estevez is still out there. Hoffman is still out there. Those guys aren't signed yet.
Well, I'm afraid Hoffman's gonna get starter money.
I mean, if I'm just
I
saying, those
agree.
guys are still out there on the market, and
yeah, but everything like even Jeff Passan, like the way he kind of made it seem like the Phillies weren't necessarily like it made it seem like they already lost both those guys.
Yeah,
his tweet in some kind of way.
all I want is
All I want for Christmas is you.
I totally agree with you, Grassy, about the whole idea of like they need to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I also agree with Connor being like you can't just throw names on the team and expect it to work. Whether it's
Just
Nolan Arenado,
yeah.
whether it's Kyle Tucker, there are pieces. Sure, I would have loved Kyle Tucker, but like again, of all of a sudden, like I actually don't think the trade offer of Nick and Alec, and I think it was like Griff McGarry or
Something
someone
like that, or
like,
Mick
I-
Abel.
Yeah. Like I don't hate that. I'm sure Houston came back and said, "Well, we're trading Kyle Tucker. We want those 2 guys." Plus, probably Andrew Painter or Justin
Well, that's-
Crawford or Aiden Miller.
That's the problem. It's everybody's
They
asking.
want our prospects.
Everybody's
They want
asking
nothing
for
to do with
Aiden
our
Miller
starters.
or Painter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the Phillies are wise to say no. I'm not giving them up.
It seems like the closest that they've got to dealing any one of their top prospects has been Crawford, which honestly, Crawford I feel like is the one that like I'm more lenient on like keeping.
Oh, you would keep him?
I would
of
keep-
everyone we just listed.
I do really
Aiden Miller, Andrew Painter, Crawford, Justin Crawford. And
Andrew-
you would
Andrew
rather
Painter-
list them in terms of 1 being I'd be more than likely to like I would be okay trading them, and 3 being I don't want them traded.
Painter I don't want traded. So I would probably say I'd probably put Painter at 3.
Don't want traded.
I would probably
Texas got Clemson.
Texas got Clemson.
Yeah, they're playing Clemson.
Ah, okay.
So
Yeah. So I would put Painter at 3. I would honestly put Crawford at 2 and then Miller.
Oh, see, I'm flipping 1 and 2. I would be more inclined to trade Crawford.
Painter just concerns me because of the arm. Like it's an explosive arm. Now, granted, there have been cases where like that's been fine.
Well, and again, like sports medicine has come so far that like they caught it early in his career that like they did surgery on it, and it's like I think like again back to normal is like 100%.
Yeah.
And then longevity, like he's still gonna have years on him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get that. I just think that Crawford, from what I've seen from Crawford, he's a consistent hitter. He's got really good speed. He's got a good glove, decent arm. Like he's got like a lot of tools that I
Okay.
think the
Everything
Phillies-
you just listed out outside of maybe a bat, you just described Johan Rojas. So I am more inclined to keep Aiden because this whole idea of, hey, we're going to get rid of Alec. We're going to get rid of Alec. Alec's gone. Well, hey, you're going to need someone to play third. And that was Aiden's. I'm pretty sure that was Aiden's natural position. Now, again, need to see some of that. But it makes more sense in my brain for the Phillies to say, hey, like, we already essentially have a Justin Crawford and Johan Rojas. He can do everything. Now, if Justin gets called up this year, and he goes to bat 290 for the season. I'm like, okay, well, hey, this was, I'm glad we kept him. But that's unproven right now, where I think Aiden might already be a little more of like a, I'm not going to say guarantee, but in terms of like, I think he's more likely to have a better career than Justin Crawford.
Right. I think that's fair, and I think you do bring up a good point with like Crawford and Johan. I just think that like Crawford just kind of seems to have a knack just for like getting on base.
Yeah, he did in Reading for sure.
Yeah, and like pretty much
Was
his
he
entire
like 4
career.
for 5 that game we were
Yeah,
at?
yeah, no, literally, and it was like it was just all like it wasn't necessarily
What
the
missed him.
hell kind of throw?
That was
that?
Rome too. Oh, it was
that
Keenan.
was
I'm
Keenan.
sorry.
It was like, what's the best way to describe it? It was like peppered all over. Like he had like 2 infield hits. One was like laced up the middle.
Yeah.
And like one, I think, found a gap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But like he had like 4 stolen bases in that game too.
Yeah.
Like,
But again, I'm not like, if Johan Rojas can bat 275 next season, you have the same exact player.
I mean, that's a good point. The question is, will he bat 270 next season?
Well, and then the question is still there. Will Justin Crawford bat 270 in the majors?
Well, that is a good question.
And so again, I'm just going to bet on the talent of Aiden Miller a little harder than I would the talent of Justin Crawford. I like both. And actually, if
Yeah,
I'm betting
no.
on any of the talent of the 3 names we've just listed, Andrew Painter's at the top of that list. I think he's the most talented player.
Yeah.
I legitimately think he has like Cy Young upside. Like, I think he could be one of the best pitchers in the league.
I agree. No, I 100%
And
agree.
so I'm totally cool with them. I even think really highly of Mick Abel.
Yeah.
I know his control has been a little all over the place. Same with Griff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm not as big on Mick Abel as like I think a lot of people are. He gives me like Spencer Howard and
Yeah.
Kyle Drabeck and Jesse Biddle vibes. Whereas like he's like a highly touted prospect, but like
But
is he
again,
actually
so
gonna do
I
anything
think
when he
I
gets
think
to
what
the,
I don't think the issue with like the Kyle Tucker deal was necessarily Nick and Alec. I think it was probably Houston being like, well, we want Abel, or we want Painter, or we want Aiden, or we want Crawford.
Yeah.
And the Phillies were like, no.
yeah,
Like, you can have any of our other prospects,
but
but these guys. And
Yeah.
they were like, nope. And so I think that's where the Phillies are kind of swinging and missing right now. Like, I'm sure Crochet was the same idea. Well, hey, we're sending you our pitcher. We want Andrew Painter.
Mhm.
And the Phillies were like, no, we're not doing that.
right.
Crochet was another name I forgot to say.
Yeah.
It's just it's frustrating. It's
I know.
It's frustrating.
Sorry, I'm trying to
It's-
hear what that flag was. My man's just yapping.
So that's
Oh, no.
yeah. I was gonna say I don't know what
It's
that
the
was.
podcast.
But yeah, and so I think that's what the issue has been, and I think that's why like Dave Dombrowski has been throwing out these like, I don't even want to call them crazy trade offers, but like, hey, we'll give you Alec, Nick, and whoever else,
Yeah.
we'll and Abel, and they're like, no, we want these guys, and he's like, okay, that's it,
Yeah.
like, because again, one of these teams is gonna bite and be like, yeah, sure, we'll give you, whoever. But I mean, we'll wait and see, I guess. They need to make something happen because, again, you can't go for a 3rd season in a row of just like, hey, let's just run it back.
Yeah. No, at this point, like you just can't.
So I'm not going to discredit the fact that they won 90+ games last year, but like, though you need consistency, especially once you get to.
Well,
late-
and it's why I'm big on them. I've mentioned this before. Like, I'm mad we missed out on Devin Williams. Like, that's the one
Yeah,
I'm actually
yeah.
mad about.
I did want Devin Williams.
Because I've said before, like Estevez last year, like that was his first playoff experience. I want guys who have pitched in the playoffs and know what it's like, so that come crunch time, hey, it's a 2-1 game in the 8th inning, game 3 of the NLDS or NLCS or whatever. I can trust Devin Williams to come in. I can trust whoever. I'm trying to think of what's the dude's name that's in Philly right now, drawing a blank on, long hair.
Strom.
Thank you, Matt Strom. I want to say Jeff Hoffman, but I was like, that's not. I was thinking of Strom. And so I just think there's things that I don't know. I guess we're just waiting to see. I think right now the next domino to fall will be Bregman.
Yeah.
And
I don't think he's going to get the money that he wants.
no. So actually, if that's the case, then I actually think he gets strung out a little bit, and
Yeah.
his signing gets pushed into probably next year.
Yeah, I could see that. He'll probably just end up going back to, or he might even do it like Carlos Correa did, and just like do like a 1 year prove it deal and
Yeah.
like somewhere else. Not
Yeah,
in
but he's
Houston.
older than Correa,
That is true. No, you're not wrong.
and that's where like the issue comes in for him because I'm sure he wants this to be his last contract, which is why he's hunting 10 years.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and then you end up with a situation like like Jordan Montgomery where does a 1 year prove it deal and then ends up playing
Goes terribly.
Yeah.
where did he sign with then?
He signed with Arizona.
No, didn't he sign somewhere else yet?
No, well, so he signed a
No,
2 year.
I'm thinking of
It was a 2 year with a player option, and then he opted in on the contract after the owner was like, "Yeah, that was a bad idea."
yeah. I'm thinking of who's the other guy that signed
Blake
a 1
Snell.
year? Yeah, and he signed with the Dodgers like right away, didn't he?
Yeah, who was he with last year?
He was with the Giants.
Giants. That's right.
Anyway, I guess we'll see what happens with him.
Yeah, I mean it's just annoying because I feel like we don't really have too much of an update with the Phillies, and I would like to give an update and talk about like who they've got and everything, but it just doesn't seem to be happening right now.
Literally I am consistently scrolling through Twitter any second I get because I want to see, hey, did the Phillies make any other moves? And they don't.
It's an annoying thing about like baseball's off season is like
So
NBA. It's like
long,
these
we have to
deals.
wait.
NBA gets these deals done in like no time at
Every-
all.
Oh yeah.
Every major deal between like NBA, NFL, like it's within the span of like a week. MLB, they're like, well, we got to test the market and
Yeah,
we got
well,
to see what
I
we
did
got to
see
see what the
something.
value is.
I did see something. So obviously, Bryce Harper signed with the Phillies it was March.
Yes.
They didn't meet with him until mid-January,
Yeah.
which is kind of crazy. So I wonder if they were trying to play the long game with Juan Soto, like see like, oh, how'd they miss that?
How many face masks have been missed this entire season?
A lot.
Yeah,
More
way
than-
too many.
Yeah. But yeah, I wonder if they were trying to play the long game with Juan Soto, just like kind of see like wait and see what offers he was getting. But it just kind of seemed like there was no shot that Gary Cohen was going to let him.
Oh yeah.
Go
absolutely.
anywhere.
Steve Cohen.
Is that what his name?
Yeah.
Steve Cohen. Yeah. So
It's just so unfortunate because you see all these big names getting off the market, and the Phillies are obviously willing to spend money on these big names,
Mhm.
yet they're just choosing not to. And I'm not saying they should because it's the big name, but I'm saying it's like like I said, guys that they are linked to, and they are legitimate contenders to get. Every other time, like as soon as I start speaking about it, I was talking to my friend about, hey, I would love to see Kyle Tucker on the Phillies. Would love to see Kyle Tucker play right field, whatnot. Not even an hour later, it's trade talks are heating up between the Astros and the Cubs, and trade has been finalized and trade is official. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me!
yeah.
Like, did they make a play for him? Yes. What was the play? Some random trade that obviously wasn't going to get approved. Well, fuck. What
I mean,
what are
there's
we
still-
doing?
There are still some decent options for the Phils out there. Like obviously Cody Bellinger's still out there. The right fielder Suzuki for the Cubs is still out there.
And,
Like-
aren't they still in the mix for that Japanese pitcher?
Sasaki.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still in the mix for him. Like there's
Well,
definitely
he's on the record as
still,
saying he wants to go to the Dodgers, which there's nothing stopping.
No,
him
I heard
from.
he wants to go to a smaller market.
Really?
I heard a whole thing about how I don't know if it's like his agent was like, yeah, he might struggle in a bigger market with XYZ.
Would we put him in
so they
Philadelphia?
Yeah, I don't know if
I
Philadelphia.
was
Say,
gonna
will we
say,
put him in
they
Philadelphia?
actually projected him to end up on the Mariners. They have a nice background in Japanese culture, obviously Ichiro. So I mean, I guess we'll just wait and see.
It's my least favorite thing about free agency is just the waiting.
Yep.
The constant. Hey, I want to see. Hey, Jeff Passan. This is the one time. This is the few months I follow John Heyman on Twitter before I unfollow him just because I can get information out of him.
Nothing.
I got nothing.
So let's touch on the Sixers quick because my wife is asking for help. New news: Jared McCain, torn meniscus, out indefinitely. Joel Embiid, sinus fracture,
Broken face.
out for a
Again.
week or two, or will be reevaluated in a week.
Mhm.
All I'm gonna say, because they just won, thankfully, I am like so mentally checked out on the Sixers right now, just because I feel like every way, like any direction we turn,
It's bad.
It's bad.
Yeah.
And again, they're going to need to win a couple games to make something happen. But I mean,
they
boy,
blocked the punt.
I just oof.
I'm not
Oh,
like
that was a replay. I'm dumb. I missed that.
I wouldn't necessarily per se I'm like out on the Sixers. I would
It's just
say
hard to be in.
My inness has certainly gone down.
Yeah.
Like when the season started, I was so mentally in that like where we're at now is so like deflating.
Draining.
Yeah, that I'm like, there's no Joel Embiid, there's no Jared McCain now. Like McCain was like the one bright spot we had going for us, which is kind of sad considering like Paul George was like supposed to be. Now, granted, he also had a really good night tonight, so I don't want to
like
discredit
36 or something.
something like that. And like it seems like Paul George is like slowly coming back to form.
Yep.
Because obviously there's been the injuries, So it kind of seems like they're kind of working him back in a little bit more. He kind of seems like he's finding a bit more of a groove. I mean, I do like Paul George when he's like kind of a 1B option with Maxey.
Yep.
Like when he's running that point forward, I actually think the offense flows like really well. It just, I think when Joel comes back in, it slows down. Like, I think the 2-man game between Maxey and Embiid is just
it's
really
one of those
good.
things where you just have to stagger those minutes a little, like, perfectly. And by that I mean like, obviously, hey, you want all those like, closing out the game for you, but like, hey, throughout the game you run maybe your first sub is Joel, so then you get the 1A 1B with Tyrese and Paul George, and then hey, we're gonna bring PG out for a bit, and we're gonna run Maxey and Joel, and then at the start of the second quarter, hey, we're gonna run PG and the bench squad for 4 minutes or whatever. But yeah, I don't have much else to say. They need to go trade for Dorian Finney-Smith like yesterday.
The problem is, so December 15th, that's the thing that's confusing to me because I didn't realize KJ couldn't be traded until January 15th at first.
Yep.
But December 15th is when like guys like Kelly and Andre, so like the guys that you just signed during the offseason, that's when those guys can be traded. But like January 15th is when KJ Martin can be traded. I don't understand the whole cap thing that the salary cap, all that jazz. But so that's when KJ Martin can be traded. So that's kind of seems like, and it seems like Brooklyn's open for business.
Yeah.
They say they just traded Dennis Schroeder to the
Warriors.
To the Warriors, yep.
For DeAnthony Melton.
Poor DeAnthony Melton, man. That dude can't catch a break.
Do you know what's crazy? So he like tore his something or another.
He tore his ACL.
Okay. You can't fly with a torn ACL.
That's what I heard. So apparently
he has to take
take
a van all the
like
way from the West Coast.
Miles.
I
Which is funny.
I also wonder if they just told him like, "Hey, just hang out."
Yeah.
In the West.
It reminds me of. Do you remember when we traded for Alec Burks and Glenn Robinson?
And it took forever
and it took
for them
like
to show
2
up.
weeks to show. That's kind of what this feels like.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, like Anthony Melton's not playing because of the torn ACL, but if I had to imagine, like if he couldn't fly because of that particular reason, then like it probably would take him like 2 weeks to get there.
Certainly.
Which is funny because like a lot of the guys, like when they get traded, they're playing like either the next night or like the night after.
Yep.
Whereas like Glenn Robinson and Alec Burks were like traveling by like mule. Like
Yeah,
they were playing.
it literally felt like they were walking to
they
Philadelphia.
were like playing the Oregon Trail.
It literally felt like it.
Yeah. It was
Traveling by mule is a great thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like it took them forever, and like we're like, hey, we desperately need this 3-point shooting, and then they just never showed up.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, by the way, we're gonna go and take a trip in the Shaggin' Wagon and stop in Denver and
Yeah, they stopped in Cabo real quick.
yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure Bijan just threw up.
Did he? I always feel like it's weird seeing football throw-ups.
I don't.
It's kind of funny. Did you see Jalen Carter throw up on the Dallas Star?
Did he actually?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No.
No, he like before the play started, they were at like midfield, and he like casually just like like lifts up his helmet and throws up on the Dallas, like directly on Dallas's star.
Just watch Bijan in the huddle. They zoom in on him. Did you see it?
It was
that was a
either-
glove. That was a
was it
glove.
glove?
That was a
it a
glove.
hand?
Yeah, that was a
I
hand.
was gonna say we need a little bit more
That was
analysis.
too quick. That was too quick. That
It
was
was
a glove.
very quick, but I could see where you could see a splash or where you could
That's
see
a white
glove.
glove.
It was either like a quick like going down or it was a splash.
That was
Yeah,
a
it
glove.
was a glove.
That was a glove.
No, but the way he was hunched over, it definitely looked like he did.
All right. Any closing remarks?
I
Well,
already made my remarks.
yeah.
Yes, you did, Grassy.
Christmas
Grass.
is Christmas is
Yeah,
about
I
a week
literally
and a
leaned
half
over
away.
to Connor and I was like, you know that thing they chant?
I heard you. I heard you guys talking, but I
WWE?
was just going for it.
I was like, it's when Stone Cold Austin's drinking a beer, and he's like, I had a beer. And then-
What?
Yeah.
What?
I was like, what do they say? He's like, I don't know. What should we say? So then he just went grass, and I was
Yeah.
like, we're rolling with it.
I drank a beer. What? I
Uh,
drank another beer. What?
So
Another beer.
What?
so Christmas is a week and a half away,
That's crazy.
which is kind of crazy.
Probably buy my gifts.
Yeah.
Next
so
week's the Christmas episode.
are we doing next week as the Christmas episode? Because if so, then I'll save my questions. But
Ne-
everybody just has to confirm that everybody's good for next week's episode.
I probably won't be. My work schedule is hell.
That's kind of what I figured.
Bruh.
All right. So
Christmas questions.
yes. So I want
Bluey.
your top 3 favorite Christmas songs and your top 3 favorite Christmas specials.
Favorite Christmas songs. Okay.
I know my top 3 favorite Christmas songs.
Okay.
I have been trying to think of my
I'm
top
not.
3
I
Christmas
actually
specials.
don't enjoy Christmas music.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Which
All
is
I
weird
want for
'cause you're-
Christmas is you, Mariah
Okay.
Carey.
All right.
Think what else? Christmas specials. What do you mean by that? Like movies?
Well, I would say Christmas movie, but like there's also like the like shorter ones. So like Charlie Brown
Oh,
isn't
yeah.
like a movie per se. It's like a half-hour special.
Jim
you know?
Carrey's The Grinch. Elf.
That's a good one. Yeah.
What about
Colleen actually
songs?
doesn't like Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Well, it's because Colleen doesn't have a soul.
Colleen also rhymes with hate.
So I don't know why she like only likes like the original animated one. I actually like the new one, that Illumination.
I swear you just
Yeah,
said
yeah,
anime.
The one that Illumination did was pretty good, but I also like them because of Despicable Me.
Okay. The Grinch. Elf. What else do I like watching on
Despicable
Christmas?
Me.
What else do I like watching on Christmas? I don't know. What's okay? So All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big fan of what is. Let me find it. Hold on. And this one shot up my list pretty quick.
There's a Christmas song by Fall Out Boy I've been listening to. It's called "You'll Shoot Your Eye Out." It's pretty good. I like it. I wouldn't consider it my top 3 by any means, but
Your top 3. Sorry. Oh, the Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Philly Specials is really
yeah.
fun. Just because
Yeah,
at the
just
end you
'cause-
get all of like Jalen Carter being like, "What's up, Kels?" Like,
oh yeah.
or Jalen Hurts.
It's like,
Hey,
AJ,
Merry
what do you,
Christmas.
AJ, AJ, what do you want for
Yeah.
Christmas?
Man, I
Well,
want a
come-
I got a
touchdown.
couple touchdowns in the tree
You know,
this year.
you know what I want. I want a Super Bowl.
Yeah, like that. I just like that's just
Or
so fun to me.
Mowers. Hey guys, you sound really good.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
If I had to pick another song, I don't know. I don't really like Christmas music like that. I really don't.
Really?
I really don't.
I'm a Christmas snob, so
You
I-
are. You
I'm
were
not a
listening
fan
to it
of
in
it.
November.
I'm not a fan of it because it's played way too early.
I'm probably
Agreed.
a culprit of that. I've really tried to limit myself how early I play it because there would be times where like November 1st and I've got it on the radio,
That's crazy.
but
Disgusting.
I have like eased up a little
November
bit.
2nd.
No, I try to keep around November 20th now. Thank you very much.
You suck.
I do not.
You suck.
I'm fun.
You suck.
I'm cool.
November 20th. You suck.
November 20th is not that far off from Thanksgiving.
December 1st. December 1st should be.
No, you can't do 25 days of Christmas music.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can't.
It's the whole thing on Freeform. The 25 days of Christmas movies.
No,
That's
it's the
it.
25 days of the Santa Clauses and Home Alone.
That is also true. And Elf.
Not really. Not as much.
Okay.
It's definitely Home Alone's and
I'm
and
still
Santa
looking
Claus.
up mine, by the way.
Anything by the Philly Specials
Is that your top 3?
and Holy Shit, It's Christmas.
I can't say I'm familiar with that one.
Oh, Gavin played it. It's really funny.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any of the Adam Sandler Christmas songs from that one movie he did.
What, Eight Crazy Nights?
Bitty,
Yeah.
bitty,
I was
bitty,
gonna say,
bum,
I was gonna say,
bum.
but
Eight Crazy-
I'm pretty
Listen.
sure it was all about Hanukkah.
I have not watched 8 Crazy Nights in a very long time, but it is such a fantastic movie.
There's my third movie, by the way.
8 Crazy Nights. Yeah, it's a good one. That is a good one. The Hanukkah song
Yes.
is one that
Yes.
doesn't get enough love. Me
Kai
personally,
Roseman singing the dreidel song.
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, that's it. That's what I got.
My personal top 3 for Christmas songs. I said it the other night when we were playing Xbox. Is Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas."
Yep.
Wham! Last
Yep.
Christmas, and "This Christmas" by Jeffrey Osborne.
Love it.
A lot of people probably don't know that last one. It's just one that my dad every single year that is Christmas time, he has this playlist that he would like play in the kitchen while he'd be making dinner, and that was always the first song. So that was like almost like kind of like my kickoff to Christmas.
There
Yeah,
you
we
go.
fancy like Christmas.
No, not fancy like Christmas.
No, I was playing in Texas Roadhouse last night. Though.
No, I did hear it. I have it in my Christmas
was
playlist
vibing.
just because it's like kind of ridiculous. Like obviously the song "Fancy Like" it's its
Yep.
own kind of cringe, but like this is like cringe times 10.
I love that for them.
My top 3 Christmas specials / movies. This one's a little trickier. Like the ones that I go out of my way to watch every year. Polar Express is one.
That is a good one.
A Year Without Santa Claus.
I've never seen it.
It's one of the claymation ones.
Okay.
But I do always go out of my way to make sure I watch that one. And I know I just made a complaint about it, but I do also love the first Santa Claus
Oh, with Tim Allen?
with Tim Allen.
Yeah, that is a good one.
The
I don't-
SpongeBob episode, the Christmas episode.
I mean, that's a great one too. Don't get me wrong. I do go out of my way to watch that every year. But like the reason like why I love the Santa Claus is because it's like heartfelt and like not like realistic per se,
Mm-hmm.
but like you can kind of see where they're coming from with the story.
Yeah.
And then the second and third one, like obviously at the end of the day, like it's just like Tim Allen was a not the greatest dad / husband in the world, becomes Santa Claus and now he gets to spend time with his kid
So heartfelt.
Yeah, I know. But then it's like the second movie is like a little bit more, and I understand why they had to make it a little bit more ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then the third movie is just like off the wagon. So like,
They jumped the shark.
Doesn't
Yeah.
that have Loki in it?
does it? You might be right, actually.
Where Santa Claus gets hit in the face with a shovel.
That does happen. And then I have not watched much of the.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
No, okay.
No, it's Martin Short. I'm
well,
sorry.
I was gonna say Martin Short. That's kind of who I was thinking of, but he does kind of play like a Loki type character
Yes.
because he's
Jack
just like
Frost.
chaos.
It's the Joker.
Yeah.
I'm an agent of chaos.
You just
I'm an
scored a
agent of
touchdown.
ice.
Aaron Jones.
All right, Nolly, give me yours.
Oh, the Chipmunk song.
The
Christmas time. That one's fun to
They
me.
ruined
Yeah.
They ruined my childhood.
the first Alvin and the Chipmunks movie.
Fire.
That one's a Christmas movie.
The SpongeBob episode.
The Christmas Who.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Where's Gary episode.
Actually, it's funny
We're
that
singing
you said,
that song.
It
I was
is,
singing
it
that
is
song
funny
here.
because me and Colleen were talking about our top 5 favorite SpongeBob songs.
That was one of my top 5.
I said my top 5 were.
Switch up from Christmas to
I know.
SpongeBob.
Well, it's just because we were talking about it.
Last
tonight,
thing,
I
last
feel-
thing, last thing.
Yeah. My top 5 SpongeBob songs are the Campfire Song.
TMPFIRE, S-O-N-G
yeah.
song.
The Stove song.
Don't know that one.
Greasy Stove.
Oh, yeah, with
Yeah.
The duet with
The duet with Mr.
Mr.
Krabs,
Krabs.
SpongeBob. Yeah. When Worlds Collide. I know you probably like right off the rip probably don't know the song because it's been a while since I've heard it, but I'm gonna need you to listen to it after we're done here.
Nope. Happening right now.
All right, perfect.
And
And then
Keep
striped
it away
sweater.
from the microphone because I think they actually, if it picks up, they will do something about it.
Striped sweater is another one. And then what was the other one that I had in there? Oh, the Christmas song.
Yeah.
This Christmas
this the-
feels like the very first Christmas to me. It's so
Yeah.
good.
I do know it.
I'm telling you, and like just like the rapping that they start doing is
What's
just so ridiculous.
what's the song they did at the Super Bowl?
Well, okay, so
Sweet Victory.
Sweet Victory,
Yep.
yes, I have I don't consider Sweet Victory a SpongeBob song per se
I do.
because that's not like that's Sweet Victory is an actual song.
So is this one?
Well, no, it is an actual song, but that's an
No.
that's an actual song by SpongeBob. Yeah, but I'm saying there's a difference between like there's a difference between When Worlds Collide, like whatever that version is, and a different. Like I'm saying, SpongeBob like has its own lyrics. I don't know what that is.
That's not the right
I
one.
don't think it is either, but it was funny.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So like When Worlds Collide is a song specifically for SpongeBob. Like I'm a Goofy Goober is essentially
That's a good
just
one.
That's a great song.
but that's essentially just I Want to Rock. But that's a song like written for SpongeBob.
What about the Gary song?
The Gary song is good. The Gary Come Home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Fun is up there.
Fun is up there, yeah.
The Plankton song.
Yeah. F is for fire that burns down the whole town.
U is for uranium.
Bombs.
N is for no survivors. Wait.
Plankton.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. There's so many good, like, SpongeBob just has, like, an elite, like, discography.
We were talking about
Nice word.
Philly sports.
Nice word.
Thank you.
I like that. What was the other word you used?
I don't know.
Did it start with an N?
Thank you for watching the Boat Road Bullies podcast. Thank you for listening to the Boat Road Bullies podcast.
Did kind of go off the rails a little bit there.
We appreciate you
I
guys
just
listening
got-
and
I just
watching.
got
Shout
excited.
out to all you boaters out there.
Grassy
Shout
was
out
so
to
quick to be like, it's
Arnold
over.
Palmer.
Get out of here.
Shout out to
Oh,
Connor.
man.
Thanks.
You.
Is he?
I guess I'll shout you out.
What's your name?
Be sure to like the podcast on Spotify. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow us
Grass.
on follow us on Twitter at Boat Road
Grass.
Bullies. Follow us on Spotify, also at Boat Road Bullies.
Grass.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel at Boat Road Bullies, not at Boat Road Bullies. Boat Road Bullies. Any final remarks? None. We appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all next week. Connor, hit him with the line.
Stay beautiful.
See ya.
Later.